Hi again then guys, and so we've got another Gran Turismo 6 drag spec tune for you today. And to be completely honest, I had never expected to do a drag tune for this car. It just wasn't a car that I really gave a second thought to really on Gran Turismo. It's been on since GT4, it's the Caterham 7, which is powered by a Honda Fireblade superbike engine. And it's always been one of those cars which kind of falls into a bit of a no man's land because the PP is extremely high, but it's not really that competitive at that PP level because you can get full-on race cars at that level. However, I decided to just give it a try as a drag racer, and as it turns out, it is seriously rapid for its power. So I would recommend using racing soft tyres, of course. For the suspension, we've increased the ride height. Springs we've put to 4 on the front, 125 on the rear. For dampers we've got 4 on the back, 1 on the front as usual, and for extension 4 on both. Anti-roll as high as possible, camber and toe neutral. For the gearbox, an auto setting of 180. Then for first gear we've got 5.7, second, third, fourth and fifth all the way to the left, with a final gear of 1250 and a final drive of 2.7. For the diff, we've got the highest initial torque, high acceleration, and low braking. All the power upgrades, of course, and I would strongly recommend having the supercharger rather than the turbo, because the turbo does give you significantly less power. And, of course, I will be using NOS. Now, as far as the weight, this may seem a little bit strange, because I have given it the lightweight bonnet, but I've actually made it heavier. And the reason for that was I was playing a hunch, because you can never be too sure with Gran Turismo just how realistic the physics are going to be. But as it turns out in this regard, it's pretty realistic. Because the theory was, if you have an ultra lightweight car with a significant amount of power going through the wheels, you need weight to ground the power. Otherwise you'll just be spinning up the tyres, and it doesn't matter how much power you have if you can't get it to the road. So I've given it a 64 kilo ballast and put that all the way to the back to ground those rear wheels, and despite being a lower PP, less power to weight ratio and of course heavier, it makes it a lot quicker. Around half a second quicker to 60 and to 100, and quicker over the quarter mile as well. Now, traction control I would definitely recommend turning off, and I will be using an auto box as well. So of course if you do choose to use a manual, you can potentially be quicker than this. Now for a car of its power, I'm not aware of any other car that can keep up with this thing in a straight line. Now as I said, for its PP, it's not very competitive, but for its power, it definitely is. Now to show just what this car is capable of, this car has 260 horsepower. And we're putting it up against the car which I've put up against a couple of my other drag tunes. It's a 900 horsepower Pontiac Gto. Both are rear wheel drive, both have racing softs, both are of course fully tuned and using NOS. So let's see how they compare. Now this car of course does not have all-wheel drive to aid it off the line, but it still outruns the Pontiac for the best part of a quarter mile. Now I don't think many people would put this car up against a 900 horsepower Pontiac anyway. But that was just a demonstration of what this car is capable of, because if it can do that to a 900 horsepower Pontiac, imagine what it could do to say a 400 or 500 horsepower hatchback, etc. So if you haven't tried out the Caterham before, least of which as a drag car, I would actually recommend doing so. And as you can see, the top speed is not bad at all. Now, it doesn't maintain that on its own, of course. This actually does about 194, 195-ish miles per hour on its own, which still isn't bad for the power. But as far as the specs, which I will, as always, list in the video description below, but for the highlights, this car can hit 60 miles per hour in 2.2 seconds, which is crazy fast for the power. It hits 100 in 4.5 seconds. It will do the quarter mile in a pretty impressive 9.3. It does the standing mile in 23.2, which is very impressive considering it's not really a long distance tune. And it will even cover 5,000 metres, which is literally half of the straight, in less than a minute. So for a 260 horsepower car, it's pretty much unbeatable for that power band. So if you haven't tried the Caterham, like I said, I definitely recommend you buy one, at least for using it as a drag car, if not other things as well. And I'm telling you, I'm planning to use this car a lot more than I ever have before, now that I know how quick it is. So, if you decide to use this tune, obviously I hope you find it fun, and it is definitely competitive, and I guarantee you will shock people in online lobbies with this car. And if you're new to the channel, or just found this helpful in general, feel free to subscribe. I put out new drag tunes like this every weekend, new top speed tunes every day as well, and various other tunes and reviews in the week. And as always, thanks for watching.